On the day of the grand wedding, the bride fled the mansion, and I, dressed in a ridiculous wedding outfit, faced the guests alone. Lord Chancellor, the lady has been found. I will bring her to change clothes. No need. I smiled with relief. I tore off the wedding robe and ordered it to be taken to the woodshed and burned. Pass the word. Today's wedding is cancelled. From now on, Miss Jiang can come and go freely in the mansion. You need not stop her. Later, she knelt at the gates of the Xiao mansion every day, begging to see me. Ding. Story Shots reminds you to click the subscribe button at the bottom right corner to read the full novel. I lost my parents at 7, and my brother and sister-in-law died when I was 8. At 13, I took the position of Chancellor of the court. Though I was beneath one but above thousands, a single misstep could plunge me into the abyss of the court, leaving me shattered. Everyone knew I was taciturn and unwilling to be close to outsiders. The only person I could still speak to was my aunt in the harem, the current empress. Until once, when I traveled north and passed through Brocade City, I rescued Jiang Muyun from a few thugs. At that time, Jiang Muyun was still a sallow, skinny little beggar. She wasn't afraid of me, carrying a sack almost as tall as her, following the carriage for several miles. What audacity! To dare block the carriage of my master. Do you have a death wish? Lord, please save my life. She put down the sack and knelt before the carriage. Inside the sack was the cold, foul-smelling corpse of a young boy, whom she said was her brother who had starved to death a few days ago. Jiang Muyun lost her parents at 6, wandering and begging with her brother alone. But the brother was too young. He couldn't survive the harsh winter of Brocade City. I looked at her small face. Though covered in mud and dust, her eyes remained clear and clean. Those were eyes I had never seen before. Later, I buried her brother and brought her back to the capital. Apart from daily sustenance, I taught her music, painting, archery, and horseback riding. Even though she had no talent and learned everything slowly, I was surprisingly patient in this matter. To make her happy, I took her to the south, to the northwest. We toured lakes and admired views, sought out hidden places and explored wonders. Perhaps because of our similar pasts. Facing her, I never guarded myself, was infinitely tolerant, and was willing to temporarily remove my armor of thorns. When she came of age, I prepared a fortune and proposed to her. Xiao Zi, with my status, I'm afraid I'm not qualified to be your concubine. She was worried about the disparity in our statuses. So I entered the palace to kneel before the empress. I asked her to adopt Jiang Muyun as her foster daughter, and had the emperor bestow upon her the title of princess. Xiao Zi, the dancers and singers other officials send you, will they be your concubines in the future? I'm not jealous, just a bit uncomfortable, but if you refuse your colleagues' goodwill for my unreasonable demands, you'll be in a difficult position. She wasn't good at competing with others. So I apologized in person, and sent each beauty in the mansion back. Xiao Zi, I'm still young, and haven't considered matters of love. She felt it was too early to marry, so I postponed the matter for another 2 years, until today, on the day of our grand wedding. I stood before the hall, waiting for her, but she never appeared. Lord, the lady is missing. Her maid knelt on the ground, her voice trembling. I should have anticipated this earlier. I looked down at the wedding robe on me, feeling ridiculous. Perhaps I should have realized 2 years ago. Jiang Muyun had no intention of marrying me. I drank the strong wine in my hand in one gulp, then bowed to apologize to the guests. After everyone dispersed, the guards reported, Lord, the lady has been found. I will bring her to change clothes. No need. I smiled with relief, waved my hand to dismiss him. As I turned back to the room, I tore off the wedding robe and threw it into the guard's arms. Pass the word. Today's wedding is cancelled. From now on, Miss Jiang can come and go freely in the mansion. You need not stop her. Tonight, I didn't go looking for Jiang Muyun, nor did I send anyone to guard the gates. She unexpectedly brought a bowl of sweet soup, knocking on my study's door. I didn't look up at her, my eyes tightly fixed on the document in my hand. Jiang Muyun placed the sweet soup on the desk, pushing it in front of me. Xiao Zi, today's incident was my recklessness. I shouldn't have fled the wedding out of fear. The wedding date was set by you. I turned a page, my tone calm. She was silent for a moment, then continued, "At that time, you were unconscious from an assassination attempt. I did it to make you happy. I never forced you. But your status is a kind of coercion to me." Snap. I closed the document, looking up at her. Seeing those eyes that once moved and fascinated me, now filled with fear and annoyance, I laughed self-deprecatingly twice. So all these years it was me forcing her. Fine, I won't force you anymore. From now on in this mansion, no one will stop you. I brushed my sleeves and rose, passing by her without any pause. Perhaps sensing my attitude was different from usual. She suddenly knelt down, tightly clutching my robe. "Xiao Zi, I beg you, don't harm Hanshi. He has already suffered enough. I won't run away anymore. Please don't be too harsh." In these 9 years, Jiang Muyun rarely cried in front of me. This was the second time. The first time was when she risked her life to protect Wei Hanshi, fearlessly standing in front of him against swords and spears. I hurt him? Back then, Wei Hanshi sneaked into the Xiao residence at night, killed countless of my subordinates, injured my left arm, and poisoned me, causing me to be unconscious for several days. If it weren't for you risking your life to shield him, his grave would have long been overgrown with grass by now. I shook off Jiang Muyun's hand and ordered someone to take her back to the other courtyard. Tonight I was sleepless all night, lying on the cold, soft bed. The wound on my left arm still throbbed faintly. I called for the secret guard and instructed him to withdraw the subordinates tracking Wei Hanshi. Now his legs are crippled, and his identity has been exposed for a woman. As a discarded pawn under the Grand Tutor, he can't stir up any trouble. By the way, if he's begging for food in the capital, give him 2 buns. Don't let him die too soon. Yes. The next morning, before I stepped out of the room, I heard Jiang Muyun's chatter in the courtyard. Half a year ago, she accidentally met Wei Hanshi and rarely stayed close to me since. I used to love listening to her chatter by my ear, but now it only irritates me. On the stone table in the courtyard, there was a full spread of dishes and pastries. The neatly arranged grass altar was flamboyantly decorated with colorful and bright buds by her. "Xiao Zi, you're awake. Come quickly." She changed her cold demeanor from yesterday, raised a smiling face, and pulled me to sit at the stone table. Diligently, she set the bowl and chopsticks for me. "Why are you up so early today? Just sit and wait for a bit. The last plate of peach crisps will be ready soon." "Did the sun rise from the west? What are you up to?" She held my hand, pretending to be obedient, but her eyes dared not meet my scrutinizing gaze. I made you angry yesterday, so I'm here to apologize. You're not still mad at me, are you?" "Xiao Zi, I couldn't sleep at all last night, and I got up early today to have the servants prepare these." Her tone gradually became dissatisfied, placing the chopsticks back on the table. Looking at the full table of dishes, none were truly what I liked. At this moment, I realized how much I had accommodated Jiang Muyun in the past, eating sweet and spicy dishes that I found hard to swallow for so many years. Using the food from my residence to please me, Miss Jiang's calculations are really loud. I pushed the bowl and chopsticks away, no longer indulging her like before. Unexpectedly, Jiang Muyun got angry, stood up, and smashed the porcelain bowl on the ground. The porcelain bowl shattered into pieces. Her personal maid hurried forward, grabbed her hand, and shouted at me, "Master!" The princess hurt her little finger. Jiang Muyun pulled her hand back, pushed the maid away, her eyes slightly red. In the past, I would worry for half a day if she scratched her skin. But this time, my heart was not greatly stirred. "Xiao Zi, you've changed. You weren't like this before." Her hands dropped, letting the blood from her little finger drip onto the ground. "You are the Chancellor. Why do you keep holding onto a mere secret guard? He hurt you, but you also made him unable to stand ever again. Why do you still press him so hard? You saved me back then. This life is yours. Today, I return it to you, and I beg you not to harm Hanshi anymore." As soon as she finished speaking, she drew a short blade from her waist and pressed it against her chest. The short blade was a gift from me when she first entered the residence, meant for her to use for self-defense. Now, she unsheathed it for the first time, but it was to threaten me with her life for a man. How precious is life! Back then, you knelt before my carriage, fearing nothing, just wanting to save your own life. Now, you speak of giving it away so easily. I couldn't help but laugh bitterly, and before the blade in her hand pierced deeply into her chest, I ordered someone to take it away. I also ordered someone to call a doctor and send her into the house together. But this action was not out of pity or reluctance, just that I didn't want her to die in my courtyard, especially with the title of my aunt's adopted daughter. Xiao Zi, let go of me. You're always like this, high and mighty, selfish and indifferent. No wonder no one dares to come close. Let go of me. I can walk by myself. The noisy clamor finally disappeared. I got up and put on my outer robe, but while fastening the belt, I found a half-palm long cut on my arm. It must have been accidentally scratched when Jiang Muyun smashed the bowl earlier. The cut happened to cover the old wound on my left arm, adding another scar to the one that had just healed. "Master, you're injured. Dr. Shun is still in the camp. Let me go and inform her." "No need. It's just a minor injury. No need to trouble her. Shen Qingyao is the camp's doctor, and when it comes to medical skills, I only trust her. The poison I was afflicted with was personally tested by her, one herb at a time, to cure me. The next day she still came. I glared at the secret guard beside me and sighed, telling him to step back. There was a battle beyond the border yesterday. Shen Qingyao should not have been able to leave. If you're injured, just tell me. Don't be afraid to trouble me." She tore open the clothes at the wound, which was already red and swollen. After applying the medicine, she noticed the dark circles under my eyes and looked worried. "Didn't sleep again last night? I'll still prescribe some pain relief and sleep aid medicine for you. This can't go on." "No need, you know me. I have to sleep with one eye open." She couldn't argue with me. She took out a box of fish crisps from her pocket and stuffed it into my arms. "I bought this on the way. You don't like sweets, so eat this after taking your medicine to get rid of the taste." "Oh, right." I ran into Jiang Muyun on the road. She didn't look too well and was with Wei Hanshi. "Aren't you going to do something?" "I can't do anything, nor do I want to." Someone who used to struggle even with a minor illness now insists on going out to see her lover despite being injured. Jiang Muyun is truly devoted to Wei Hanshi. I shook my head, feeling exhausted, initially planning to send Shenqing Yao back by carriage, but she insisted on staying. "I can't handle running back and forth. I'll stay for 2 days and leave once your wound is healed." I thought she would rest for a couple of days at my residence. But during those 2 days, I developed a high fever and fell into a coma. Shenqing Yao stayed up all night by my side, not sleeping for 2 days. "Dr. Shen, you can take the money from the room as your payment for these days. Lord Xiao is giving me this? I'd rather have the rare herbs stored in the mansion's pharmacy." "All right, take whatever you want in the future." Once I recovered, I took her to the largest medical hall in the city. All the licensed medical halls in the capital are opened by the Gu family, who are friendly with the Xiao family. What I have in my mansion is nothing. If you need to buy herbs in the future, just charge it to my account. I instructed the shopkeeper and handed over the keys to the pharmacy room. But before I could leave the inner room, I heard a commotion outside. I lifted a corner of the door curtain and saw 2 familiar faces. At that moment, Jiang Muyun was supporting Wei Hanshi, clinging tightly to the medical hall's door, looking anxious. "Manager Wu, isn't it the duty of doctors to save lives? Why won't you treat him?" "Princess, it's not that I don't want to, but even a miracle can't heal this gentleman's leg. You should seek someone more skilled." "Nonsense, you won't even try. You know I'm a princess. I guess you don't want this medical hall to continue operating." "Ridiculous." I leaned against the curtain, chuckling. The Gu family's medical hall can't be shut down just because a nominal princess says so. Princess, please leave. Don't make things difficult for us. There are many people waiting to get their medicine. The people outside echoed, shouting and cursing. But due to her status, they dared not approach. Jiang Muyun's face turned red, yet she refused to move. I don't care. If you don't treat him today, I won't leave. If anything happens to him, I'll go to the palace and ask the Empress to send people to smash this lousy hall. I'd like to see who dares. Seeing Jiang Muyun becoming more unreasonable, I opened the curtain and stepped out. She saw me and looked momentarily panicked, but quickly regained her fierce demeanor. Xiao Zi, I won't go back with you. Who said I came to find you? Miss Jiang, don't flatter yourself. Although this medical hall isn't mine, anyone causing trouble here is offending me. Xiao Zi as well. My words seemed unexpected to her. Even Manager Wu was surprised. Previously, everyone in the capital knew Jiang Muyun was favored by the Chancellor, and no one dared to say a word against her. Xiao Zi, you've been angry with me for 2 days already. Isn't that enough? If you let this medical hall treat Hanshi, I'll obediently go back with you. Manager Wu, I ask you for one thing. Jiang Muyun thought I was pleading to keep her again. But after I finished speaking, her face changed drastically. Don't worry about anyone's power. Treat these two as hooligans and kick them out. Manager Wu hesitated, then quickly agreed. He called for the staff to drive the two blocking the door away. Muyun, don't be foolish and beg him for me anymore. Let's go. No, Hanshi, your leg. Jiang Muyun cried, helped Wei Hanshi sit down, then walked over to me and knelt. Xiao Zi, I promise. This is the last time I'll ask you. The last time. I don't know how many times I've heard this. 6 months ago, I took Jiang Muyun on a southern tour back to the capital, but received a secret message from the palace on the way, forcing me to drive to the palace. Worried about her safety on the road, I left all the secret guards by her side. Once she safely returned to the capital, I withdrew them. Unexpectedly, she saved the unconscious Wei Hanshi on the way, and secretly brought him into my mansion for recovery. This allowed Wei Hanshi to easily learn the layout of my mansion. No, I often stayed in the north courtyard study, leading to his later night attack on Xiao Mansion. After sending him out of the mansion, Jiang Muyun hid it from me. She took my specially arranged carriage every month to see him, and used the money from my mansion to please him. Even later, when Jiang Muyun knew he was from the Grand Tutor's mansion and intended to harm me, she still pretended to be ignorant and got close to him. To save his life, she repeatedly knelt and begged. What could I do? She knew I couldn't bear to see her sad and upset, couldn't bear to watch her starve and get sick, so she was fearless. Originally, I thought saving Wei Hanshi was just because of her kindness and compassion. On the day of the assassination attempt, I assumed she was just frightened. Until the night before the wedding, she came to plead again, and I, enduring the pain in my left arm, refused her request for the first time. The next day, she silently ran away. Jiang Muyun, you say I'm aloof, selfish, and indifferent. So why should I agree with you? Shall I return to the manor with you and obediently marry you? I lowered my head and looked at her tear-streaked, pitiful face. My heart was no longer moved. Fine. I instructed Manager Wu to place Wei Hanshi in the medical clinic. Jiang Muyun indeed obediently returned to the Xiao Manor. Manager Wu knew the inside story. Wei Hanshi's leg was truly crippled. Without me making a move, how could the Grand Tutor's manor leave such a hidden danger? The reason for keeping this person must be to keep an eye on Jiang Muyun, who was running around for him. The people in the Grand Tutor's manor are insidious and cunning. They will surely find a suitable opportunity to use Jiang Muyun to threaten me. They haven't acted yet because they're afraid Jiang Muyun will flee the marriage, and if I sever ties with her, their actions will alert the enemy, wasting their efforts. This time, I let Jiang Muyun return to the manor. The wedding must be grand and known throughout the city, making them think Jiang Muyun is still my beloved, my weakness. Lord Xiao is truly heartless and loveless, playing his cards well. Dr. Shin speaks so boldly. Aren't you afraid I'll silence you? Knowing it was just a joke, Shin Qingyao smiled and said no more. She only advised me to heal with care and not to get angry or upset these days. After seeing me finish the last bowl of medicinal soup, she was relieved and left in a carriage. This time, after Jiang Muyun returned to the manor, she was much more obedient than before. In front of me, her every word and action were filled with awkward flattery and appeasement. Muyun, you don't need to worry about these matters. Rest assured, let the servants handle the wedding. I also want to contribute. It was my fault before. She leaned in, suppressing a hint of reluctance and fear, trying to kiss my cheek. Yuhi, bring the gifts I prepared for Muyun. I pretended to inadvertently dodge her kiss. Seeing her take a few steps back in embarrassment, I secretly laughed. Such closeness to me must truly be a grievance for her. During the meal, I removed the dishes she usually liked. Seeing this, Jiang Muyun was obviously resentful, but didn't dare to say a word. She silently picked up her chopsticks, furrowing her brows, and took a bite. Now, it's not just the food. I had her sleeping quarters moved to the side courtyard and ordered the peach trees, which had been planted for several years, to be cut down. At that time, to please Jiang Muyun, I specially brought her a bag of peach seeds from her hometown. But after planting them, every spring, I had to endure the unbearable itch of peach blossom rash on my skin. Jiang Muyun never noticed this. Xiao Zi, I know you still resent me, but Yuhi is weak. Moving back and forth like this, she caught a cold these days. I brought her back to the manor. How can I watch her suffer because of me? Weak? Suffering? That maid of hers was someone she rescued from outside the manor last year. When brought here, she was barely alive. At that time, it was I who got up at night to find a doctor, and it was I who agreed to let her keep the maid. Now, just moving to another room seems like I'm deliberately trying to harm someone. Tomorrow, the third princess is coming to stay temporarily. After thinking it over, vacating the east courtyard seems most appropriate. The third princess, Su Xianmei, is the eldest daughter of the empress and naturally cannot stay in a poor courtyard. Hearing this, Jiang Muyun dared not say more. Sister is coming? Why didn't you tell me earlier so I could prepare? I don't know what she likes. Xiao Zi, you are close to the empress. You should know what sister likes, right? I shook my head, feeling a wave of amusement. If Su Xianmei knew that even a nominal princess dared to call her sister, I wonder what expression she would have. The next day, Jiang Muyun waited at the manor gate early. Seeing the carriage from the palace, she eagerly went up to greet it. Sister, it's been almost 3 years since we last met at the palace banquet. Su Xianmei paused as she got off the carriage, seemingly startled by her sudden address. She silently avoided Jiang Muyun's support and quickly walked towards me. Jiang Muyun's smile froze, and after a moment, she followed. Greetings, third princess. I bowed. Before I could stand up, Su Xianmei grabbed my sleeve. Xiao Zi, what's going on? You tolerated that woman running away from the marriage? Su Xianmei lowered her voice, with a tone of disappointment. Seeing Jiang Muyun approaching again, she stepped back and quickly headed to the main hall with her maid. Jiang Muyun was not deterred by her deliberate neglect. Instead, she picked up the carefully selected gift from last night and approached again. Sister, this red heart glass hairpin matches your outfit beautifully. Shall I pin it on for you? She picked up the hairpin, ready to act. Su Xianmei turned her head to avoid it, stopping her. Wait, why does this hairpin look so familiar? She took the hairpin from Jiang Muyun's hand, stared at it for a while, then looked at me. This hairpin was a gift from a neighboring country, intended by the empress to be kept for Su Xianmei. At that time, Jiang Muyun liked it, so I asked Su Xianmei for it. Now, Jiang Muyun picked it out and gave it back, which is truly laughable. Miss Jiang, do you know that this hairpin was requested by the Chancellor to be given to you? Now you want to return it to me? Isn't that inappropriate? Su Xianmei never had any fondness for Jiang Muyun. Naturally, she spoke her mind without holding back. Jiang Muyun had no knowledge of this matter. After hearing her words, She hurriedly took back the hairpin and instructed Yuhi to quickly retrieve it. She then cast a rather resentful glance at me. I was being presumptuous and made a fool of myself. Sister, please calm down and have some tea. Jiang Muyun took the tea from the servant and personally handed it to Su Xianmei, intending to let it pass with a smile. But Su Xianmei seemed unwilling to let it go and had no intention of accepting the teacup. Miss Jiang, what did you just call me? Sister? But we have no relation. Isn't that inappropriate? Your Highness, please don't blame me. It's just that the Empress is my godmother, and I was being presumptuous. Jiang Muyun's hands were already sore from holding the teacup, trembling slightly in midair. Her fair face flushed a deep red. In the past, I would have spoken up to protect her, unwilling to let her be troubled like this. Your Highness, Jiang Muyun doesn't understand the rules. I apologize on her behalf. As I spoke, Jiang Muyun immediately relaxed and was about to put down the teacup. If you're still upset, I'll have her copy the rules and confine her for 2 days to teach her a lesson. All right, I think that's a good idea. Su Xianmei understood the implication of my words and responded immediately. Jiang Muyun was so startled that the teacup slipped from the edge of the table before she could set it down properly. The teacup shattered on the ground, and Su Xianmei jumped in surprise. Yuhi, beside her, was so frightened that she knelt down immediately, but Jiang Muyun stood there, biting her lips tightly, her face full of shock and grievance. All right, I understand. She left this sentence behind and ran out of the main hall in a huff. Su Xianmei stared incredulously at her departing figure, almost laughing in anger. Xiao Zi, don't tell me you really plan to make her your wife. Your Highness, you've had a long journey and are now startled. It's best to rest in the East Wing for a while. After settling Su Xianmei, I hadn't rested for even a moment when Jiang Muyun came looking for me again. Wasn't she supposed to be confined for 3 days? What, are my words no longer effective? Don't blame others. I insisted on coming to find you. Jiang Muyun shielded the maid behind her, her eyes red as if she had suffered a great grievance. Lord Chancellor, have I embarrassed you, or have you not forgiven me yet? Why don't you hit me? Have the servants give me a few strokes to teach me a lesson, as long as it makes you feel better. In 2 days we'll be married. There's no overnight grudge between husband and wife. No matter how you treat me in the future, I'm willing to endure it. Jiang Muyun slowly knelt down, looking as if she was ready to face death. Before I could say anything, He beside me started crying, making my head ache. I'm the Chancellor. How could I hold a grudge against a young lady like you? It's getting late, you should go back. If this matter isn't resolved, I'll kneel in your courtyard until you're completely calmed down. Seeing her stubbornness made me seem unreasonable. In the past 9 years, when have I truly blamed you? You needn't worry. Yuhi, help your lady down. The confinement is lifted, and there's no need to copy the rules. Seeing me return to my usual gentleness, she let go of her worries and left with a smile. Once she left, the smile on my face vanished instantly. I looked at the flickering candlelight on the table, my expression dark and unreadable. Hearing that my marriage with Jiang Muyun would proceed as planned, Su Xianmei left for the palace in anger, threatening to sever ties with me. Xiao Zi, when I return to the palace, I'll definitely report to Mother and have her ask Father to revoke Jiang Muyun's title. Anyway, you can bear the consequences for her. I won't accompany you. I smiled as I bid farewell to Su Xianmei. Her words were exactly what I had in mind. It seemed inappropriate now to have asked the Empress for such a title for Jiang Muyun. On the day of the wedding, Shen Qingyao visited, claiming to share in the joy but bringing a basket of peculiar gifts. I told the general that half of the urgently needed medicinal herbs in the barracks are on your account. Hearing this, the brothers in the barracks prepared wedding gifts for you. They're all rough men, and the gifts aren't anything special. I hope you don't mind, Lord Xiao. Of course not, Dr. Shen. Please come in. I took the basket and handed it to the servants collecting the gifts. At the entrance, guests came and went. Upon hearing that the bride was still Jiang Muyun, their expressions varied, and they whispered among themselves. What kind of charm has Jiang Muyun cast on the Chancellor? She's just average-looking, yet he indulges her so much. Isn't she a princess? I heard the Empress holds her in high regard. No matter how much she's favored, she's not family. How can she act so recklessly? Shoo! Keep your voice down. The Chancellor is coming. Those whispered conversations reached my ears word for word. After making a round of toasts, Xiao suddenly approached and pulled me aside. Lord Xiao, I tested the wine you asked me to. It contains a sedative. All right, I understand. Thank you, Dr. Xin. Lord, are you all right? I waved my hand and walked to the door of the new room with the secret guards. Jiang Muyun was waiting inside early. Xiao Zi, don't miss the auspicious time. I toast to you. All right. I picked up the wine glass in front of me and drank it all. As I lowered my head, I accidentally caught a glimpse of the blue clothes under her red robe that weren't fully concealed. Bang! The wine glass fell to the ground. I couldn't support myself and collapsed onto the table. Lord! Xiaozi! Xiaozi! Jiang Muyun shouted a few times, confirmed that I was completely unconscious, and hurriedly bypassed the guards at the door, escaping. After she left, I opened my eyes. Jiang Muyun escaped again, but this time, she recklessly ran into a wolf's den, which fulfilled my wish. After sending the guests away, Yao still sat at the table. Dr. Shen, is there anything else? No, I just wanted to invite you for a drink. Rest assured, the wine I offer is guaranteed to be non-toxic. She smiled and pushed a cup of sake in front of me. Then she drank the cup in her hand in one go. After all, we've had a friendship for over 10 years. You don't understand me, but I have some understanding of you. Don't pretend everything is calm and collected, Lord Xiao. Everyone has a breaking point. Yao looked at me, her eyes bright. The moonlight reflected on her face, making the usually fierce person look much gentler. But tonight is not suitable for more drinking. I appreciate Dr. Shun's kindness, but drinking leads to mistakes, and I have important matters tomorrow. I declined her offer, and Yao wasn't annoyed. After hesitating for a moment, she suddenly took out a porcelain bottle from her bosom. This is a love potion from the western regions. If you need it, I will give it to you. No need. Hearing my straightforward refusal, a moment of relief flashed across Yao's face. She smiled and put the porcelain bottle away. I understand. Then I wish you success on your journey. The next morning, a secret message came from the Grand Tutor's residence. Inside the letter contained the jade pendant I gave to Jiang Muyun. Indeed, they couldn't hold back. I folded the letter and put it away. After finishing breakfast, I leisurely headed to the Grand Tutor's residence. Inside the Grand Tutor's residence, Yang Bubi got straight to the point, throwing the tightly bound Jiang Muyun in front of me. Grand Tutor Yang, what is this? Let's be frank, Xiao Zi. Do as I say, and I'll return her to you. Yang Bubi leaned on the mahogany chair, looking confident. I knew he wanted me to submit a memorial to the court, oppose the emperor's orders, and suppress the Gu family. Is there another way? There is. Yang Bubi glanced at his left hand's missing little finger and chuckled darkly. He ordered a servant to throw a short knife in front of me. Or, cut off the 5 fingers of your left hand, and I can spare her life. I frowned and picked up the short knife. Jiang Muyun on the ground couldn't sit still, struggled against her restraints, and shouted loudly. Xiao Zi, last night I just want to say a final goodbye to Hanshi, and prepared that wine for you to drink, just afraid of further misunderstandings between us. Don't save me. I'm not worth it. She cried uncontrollably, her shoulders trembling from fear of the cold blade at her neck. I sighed deeply, walked forward a few steps. Yang Bubi impatiently urged, make a decision quickly. If you delay any longer, I'll cut off her fingers first. What's the rush? I leisurely picked up the apple in front of me and began peeling it with the short knife in front of the two of them. Unexpectedly, Yang Bubi's face changed dramatically. He jumped up from the chair in anger and pressed the blade closer to Jiang Muyun's neck. You think I don't dare? I can kill her right now. Then go ahead. If Princess Muyun dies in the Grand Tutor's residence, who knows what kind of storm it will cause in the palace. Yang Bubi naturally didn't dare to actually kill, but he never expected that I could remain so calm and detached upon seeing Jiang Muyun. Of course, even more surprised was Jiang Muyun, kneeling on the ground, looking disheveled. She was terrified, tears falling even more fiercely. Xiao Zi, I've truly seen through you. Actually, you love yourself more. I'm just a plaything you call upon when you're in a good mood. I'm insignificant, not worth your fame and fortune. I don't need anyone else to do it. I'll die right here, don't regret it. Jiang Muyun raised her head, stretched her neck, voluntarily approaching the blade. But just as it barely cut through a layer of skin, the knife in Yang Bubi's hand fell to the ground. He angrily grabbed Jiang Muyun from the ground, one hand tightly choking her neck. Jiang Muyun panicked, but the words "save me" were stuck in her throat. Fine. The Chancellor is truly heartless. Then I'll deal with this little beauty myself. I don't dare kill her, but I'll keep her in my residence and slowly torture her. Yang Bubi gritted his teeth, still trying to provoke me, but suddenly a guard ran in from outside the courtyard. He hurriedly knelt and reported. Lord Yang, the painting hanging on the wall in the east wing is missing. What? Where are those guards at the door? Are they all useless? Yang Bubi released Jiang Muyun and angrily pushed the guard, rushing outside. As he passed by me, he finally realized that he had fallen for the strategy of luring the tiger away from its mountain. My target was not Jiang Muyun at all, but rather the military map hidden in the side room. I wasn't here to walk into a trap. As long as I got the map, I could prove Yang Bubi's rebellion. Yes, so what if it's the military defense map? It was granted by His Majesty, and I hid it to prevent it from being coveted by others. Xiao Zi, you were careless. I received the map handed over by the secret guard and placed it on the desk, gently pushing it open. Lord Yang, are you sure this map was bestowed by His Majesty? Of course, He glanced at the unfolded military map on the table, revealing the interior of the imperial city, and was instantly dumbfounded. No, this is not this one. Guards, seize this old traitor. Upon hearing my command, the soldiers waiting outside rushed in, surrounding Yang Bubi and his subordinates. Xiao Zi, you tampered with it. This map was hidden by you. You. Yang Bubi was so furious that his face turned red, and he couldn't utter a word. Now, whether the map was genuine or not, it was taken from his room in front of everyone, and the blame would inevitably fall on him. Otherwise, how could the emperor be reassured? As for Jiang Muyun, she had been lying on the ground, unconscious for a while. I ordered someone to take her away and throw her into the neighboring medical clinic. This time, using her hand to eliminate a major threat to me, she repaid the years I provided her with food, clothing, and shelter. Finally, I wish her and Wei Hanshi to become a couple. In the following days, Jiang Muyun came to the mansion looking for me. I refused to see her, and when she came, I had someone stop her outside. Lord, the princess has already realized her mistake, and she was greatly frightened a few days ago. Please forgive her once more. He knelt on the ground, continuously pleading for Jiang Muyun. Almost forgot. This person was saved by Jiang Muyun, so why not send her out to accompany her? You and your miss have deep feelings. You should share the same fate. Guards, drive this maid out. Lord, He widened her eyes, full of reluctance. Before being dragged away, she clung to the door, unwilling to leave. Chancellor, don't. It was my fault for speaking out. Half a month later, I heard from the young master of the Gu family that a short-legged man had committed suicide in their medical clinic. The next day, a new uninvited guest appeared at the quiet mansion entrance. Jiang Muyun, in tattered clothes, knelt in disarray at the steps, begging me to bury Wei Hanshi. At that time, Qin Qingyao was also present. To let go of old grudges and bury an enemy. Miss Jiang is trying to give the Chancellor a good reputation for generations. Truly thoughtful. I'm speaking with the Chancellor. What business is it of yours? A mere physician? Jiang Muyun bit her lip, her eyes full of defiance and shame. Miss Jiang, that's inappropriate. Ms. Shun is now a respected official in the capital, a fifth-rank officer. If this were on the court, your head wouldn't be enough to behead. Xiao Zi, don't be like this. You weren't like this before. Jiang Muyun cried again, overwhelmed with sorrow and pitifully helpless. She straightened up and crawled step by step up the stairs, reaching my feet and clinging tightly to my clothes, crying out in despair. But I had no patience left and kicked her away, ordering the guards to drag her off. Listen, from now on, if you see her, drive her away. Jiang Muyun indeed dared not come again. But when I entered the palace, I accidentally overheard a few palace maids chatting in the imperial garden. They said a strange person had arrived in the palace, with disheveled hair and dirty clothes. With just a waist badge, she tried to break into the Empress's Jade Pure Palace, insisting she was the Princess Muyun, favored by the Empress, who recognized her as a goddaughter. Princess Muyun, the name sounds familiar. I think there was one before, but a few months ago, after the third princess returned to the palace, the emperor abolished the title. Who knows? That crazy woman, who knows where she stole the waist badge from?